Hey guys, welcome back to MegaNerd Squad. We got a fresh review for you today, our first ever Throwback Thursday. We're thinking about doing every Thursday, if we can do it, might be every other Thursday or whatever. We'll have a throwback of an older movie, maybe that was a little bit more successful that people liked, and we'll watch it and critique it and see if we agreed or disagreed with the audiences. This one, in light of Midsummer being out, we decided to go ahead and watch Hereditary. I had seen it. They had not, so I watched it a second time, and we all saw it.
This movie, I actually liked the most of it. It just that, like, it got near the end that threw me off, but the things I liked in the first part was, I was just very intrigued by the story in the whole movie, just because the family, they were acted so perfectly, but the actors were really good. Better than most movies nowadays, they're acted better. I know let's say I like the actors a lot in all these movies, but they're actually pretty good. But this one was really good. The dad acted perfectly. The mom was very good at acting. I just liked how the shots were made and like how the detail to like you have to focus on something to get it. And sometimes you don't get it unless you really pay attention, which kind of sucks because the movie you should be straightforward in your movie if you're gonna make a movie so that people aren't confused. You should be able to fully understand the story when you leave the theater.
I thought it was alright. It was different, you know, like from like horror movies nowadays. It was more slow paced, you know. It wasn't like jump scare. It was more kind of like slow paced. Like that's like, hey kids, story time. Sit down for 2 hours and let me tell you a story about a family with a hereditary
Problem.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a little slow for me. You know, I feel like it could have been more of like a TV drama, honestly.
A soap opera.
So,
Mi amor, ¿por qué?
Give me my daughter.
I didn't get around to seeing this movie in theaters. I had heard about it after the fact, and it was like the talk. You know, everyone was talking about Hereditary. They loved it. The greatest horror movie since like The Shining, people were saying. And so I ended up renting it through Redbox and watching it.
Shout out to Redbox.
Yeah, when it ended, it was kind of one of those head scratches. I was like, damn, I spent like all this time watching this movie, and maybe I didn't watch it as intently as I should have, and maybe I should have seen it in the theater. That way I would have had maybe a little bit more focus. I think that's the way it's intended to be seen. But I was kind of like confused when it ended. I was kind of let down. I'm like, it's definitely like A+ movie quality, the shots and everything. They definitely do a good job with all that stuff, and it's just the story aspect, the narrative. Ari Aster has an interesting way of telling his stories, and it's very actually interesting and more complex. I would definitely recommend this movie for like more mature audiences that are interested in like suspense thriller type movies. One of his great qualities is his use of camera, the camera techniques that they use. I don't know if it's like his ideas or the DP's, but it's definitely like a slower pace, and you kind of get that with the camera. He'll have long shots in all of his movies. Well, in these 2 movies that he's made, really long takes, and the camera will just slowly pan over, and you know, wouldn't follow the actors. So credit to that. There's definitely a skill that he has, and when it ends, I think the third act is kind of where he loses me. It goes a little bit off the deep end, and I wasn't crazy about the movie. I kind of liked it, but I liked it definitely better on the second viewing as opposed to the first. The first time I didn't know exactly what the hell I was watching.
There was one scene in this movie where the boy is trying to go to a party, and his mom knows she's going to the party, and he just keeps denying it, like, no, it'll be okay. It's not a party. And then the mom forces the daughter to go with him to make sure he doesn't drink, but he's a teenage boy. He's obviously going to drink no matter if he brings his sister or not. So that was like really weird. The mom shouldn't have let her daughter go to a teenage party. Like, that's bad parenting, in my opinion. And the events that happened after, because she let her go, I don't want to blame it on her, but it kind of is her fault because of what happens.
In a way, yeah, it's kind of all their fault.
Yeah, because they go to the party and she gets allergic to nuts. She can't breathe, so the boy has to bring her back, and then BAM! She gets hit in the head by a pole and her head pops off.
And I think that was the best part of the movie. Probably the most exciting part and most unexpected. We're introduced in the very beginning of the movie. You learn that she's allergic to nuts at the funeral, right at the very beginning. And
They don't specifically mention it. It's very subtle.
It's one of those things, like, you got to pay attention
Yeah.
to this movie. Like, it's intended to be seen in theaters for sure.
Mhm.
The part when the daughter gets her head knocked off by the pole, that part was really well done. It was slower paced, and then it built the suspense to where he's just smoked a bunch of weed and he's all high. And I just didn't like the part when after it happened, he just went up and laid down on the bed. I hated that part. But, I mean, it made for a good, like, shot because the camera just followed him and he didn't sleep all night and the sun rose and then the mom was screaming.
The mom was trying to get a ritual done so that she could talk to her daughter again, and they were hinting at this god called Payman, which is kind of like a demon, and they were hinting at that so that people would understand the movie a little more for where they were going with, but it just got really confusing at the end. And like Payman was the demon, but I guess he possessed him in one scene where he's at the school and he just bangs his head on the floor on the desk, and like maybe he got possessed there. I don't know. It was kind of confusing, and in the end just made it just go like from here to.
Yeah.
What about when the grandmother, her body's like floating up into the? I think it's the grandmother.
The mother.
Is
It's the
it
mother.
the mother.
Yeah.
Or
the mother got possessed, so she drove up.
No, I mean the dead body. Do you remember that? Wasn't there
Oh.
a dead body floating up inside the treehouse?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it was,
It was
the,
a white
little,
dress.
the little girl or the grandmother that
no
got
idea.
dug up.
At one point in the movie, they like tell you that the grandmother's grave was dug up and her body was gone, and then her body's in the attic. I'm like, who the hell dug her up?
The
mentioned
husband thinks that the wife's going nuts and that she dug her up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it just turned out that once it all came together in the third act, that there was this cult that she was pretty much the queen of, that they
mother.
dug her up.
The grandmother.
The grandmother?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was the
grandmother
queen
that
of
was
the
buried,
cult.
her body got dug up, like, early in the movie. And
Yeah.
once he started to see his wife get a little nutty, he was like, oh, you're sick. And then she throws the book in the fire and he lights on fire. I hated that because he was my favorite character in the movie. He's like the innocent peacemaker, and then he just got the short end of the stick. He just got burned up in flames, and that's it. I'm like, damn it.
One thing I didn't like about this movie is like, I guess a funeral scene where a grandmother at the very beginning, like they kind of subtly hint at there's a cult, but they don't really mention that throughout the whole movie that there's a cult or anything. So they just throw it at you at the end and expect you to get it.
I don't think there was much hints towards the cult, was there?
No,
I mean,
not
there's
much.
just
If you watch it again, you'll see little things, like even the dude at the funeral that grinned at the girl.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was one of them. The symbol, the necklace, they got a
Yeah.
close up that they pushed in on, little things, like when she's looking through the book, like their photo book, before she sees her, like in the corner, like her shadow or her ghost or whatever, for a split
Yeah.
second. That part's pretty cool.
I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I actually really liked the majority of this movie. It was just the third arc just started throwing these weird things at me, and I couldn't like it because I had no idea what the hell was going on.
You gave it a
And
7
like,
out
it
of
was
10,
so
that's why.
weird. If the movie just cut out the third act and left me with I don't know what's happening, bam. That one movie without the third act, 7 out of 10. But with the weird ending, I want to give it a 6 out of 10.
Honestly, I'd probably give it like 6.5 out of 10. It was beautifully crafted. It was a bit slow for me.
I would definitely say upon second time seeing this movie, I liked it more and appreciated it more. I had a better understanding of how to actually watch it and interpret it. I would give it a 7 out of 10. The end, like you guys also didn't really care for, I didn't care for as well. It's just a thing that this director does where he kind of goes a little bit off the deep end, and it just didn't really jive with me. It was definitely creepy, like the cult and everything, standing around the house. That shot was great. Like, I love the craftsmanship that went into it. Like, it was really actually made beautifully crafted, and I like that it's an original story. And most people loved it, and that's awesome. Yeah, it was just the end that kind of knocked it down for me.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been probably like an 8 or a 9 had it had just some really cool,
Exactly.
better kind of ending for me. But, yeah, 7 out of 10 for Hereditary.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel and want to see more movie reviews and trailer reactions. And make sure to go tell your friends about our channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. MegaNerd Squad, out!